Hey y'all, this is Madeline from Orbital Events in San Diego. I'm here today meeting virtually with Sapphire Lagoon. Can you introduce yourself for our listeners and tell us what your role is in this music project?
Hi, my name's Monreal. Uh, yeah, I'm in Sapphire Lagoon's somewhat of a band, more of a project. Just have a lot of people on board that help make the music and all that. So yeah, got an album out right now. Working on another one. So
Nice. How would you describe your sound to someone who's stumbling upon this video and has never heard you before?
hmm, um, it's kind of sadly, I'd probably have to say it's an acquired taste. Let me think. It's a lot of acoustic stuff. Um, so I mean, the first album was very acoustic oriented, a few keyboards. Um, but if I had to compare it to something, I'd probably say it's probably like I don't know. It's something to listen to when you're probably stoned, maybe. My little brother did not listen to it. His friends were playing it, which was shocking to me because they're all like gangsters and shit into hip hop. But he didn't want to play it. I don't know if it's because he's my little brother or whatever, but he got really stoned one day and heard the whole album, and he's like, "Bro, this shit's amazing." So I think it's one of those things. So I don't. That must mean it's not that good. I don't. I don't know. I mean, I've never hated music when I was stoned ever. Like I could listen to anything. So I don't know what that. Anyways, yeah. So something like that.
For what it's worth, stoners and non-stoners should check it out.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
how long have you been playing music?
Um. I learned like basic notes on a keyboard when I was like 3 years old. But it's like I started playing guitar when I was 18. Um, Keyboard I started learning more when I was about 18. This guy that liked my mom was trying to teach me when I was like 14. Um, but yeah, I consider myself more of a writer, and I think it just became an outlet for me to put poetry onto. So because nobody likes to read. I mean, people do, but it's a lot harder to say, hey, read this, and it's a lot, when you got a melody and all that stuff. It's a lot more enjoyable. But I'd say 18 was when I started to really, because I learned guitar, and I literally learned like 5 chords on New Year's or something. And then like I went home and wrote so many songs. Like I still have the notebooks and they're terrible, but that's how it goes for some of us.
Interesting. So, who is your biggest music inspiration? And maybe also your biggest writing or poetry inspiration?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I wanna sound cool and say that like I just draw from everywhere, but I really real the older I get, I realize like I just listen to like a core sound of music. But a few of my favorites, and they kind of vary. Like a huge inspiration and a band I really love, The Strokes. I love The Doors. Circus Survive is just kind of some kind of nostalgic, but I think they're really great. I just don't listen to them as much as I did. But the Doors were huge when I was a teenager, but in recent years, I think my writing inspiration or you know whatever that person might be, that person that I admire, and my singing inspiration have become the same person. And I would say that it's probably Leonard Cohen. But I like other bands like La Luz, like modern stuff, and girl bands, and the Beach House. Who I love Beach House. I don't. A lot of people don't give a shit about them, but I just think they're just pure and they got like a really cool sound. I love the compositions and all that stuff. So
Nice. Yeah, and Leonard Cohen, his lyrics are definitely something interesting to like dive into. So
Definitely,
good to know.
definitely.
Yeah.
When I heard I liked his first album, but again, and I'm not a huge stoner or anything, and I'm not trying to endorse marijuana or anything, but I got stoned one time driving from Irvine, and I was listening to that album, and I was like tripping balls. It's just such a simple album at first glance, but you get into the lyrics, and you're just like, whoa, man, like he talks a lot about like a lot of witchcraft and like kind of like culty shit. He really does. It's really nuts because at first glance you don't notice it, but if you listen close enough, he just very knowledgeable. He's very well versed in all that religious jargon.
So are there any themes, would you say, to your lyrics, either in the upcoming album or the latest released album?
Um, I'd say I'm trying to be more theme oriented with this upcoming one. The first one, it's I literally just had a bunch of demos recorded, and I realized I had like pretty much a whole body of work, and I did like this photo shoot. And I just had this one picture. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna use it as an album cover. It looks cool. Like I'm just gonna do it. And then I just released one song on YouTube. Got a little trigger happy. I was like, man, I got like 11 songs I could put out right now. So I put them all out there. So it's kind of scattered. But I would say that there's a lot on the first album. There's a lot of themes of secrecy. I think that's the main theme, secrecy. Um, just being underwhelmed with who you are, being disappointed in who you are, and hoping that the people that say they love you are still gonna love you even when they find out that you're not anything really special. You know what I mean? And that's first song's called Mexiqueen. It's a fictional tale about a guy that dresses up in drag, meets a girl, and falls in love with her, but she never knows she's a dude. And when she finds out, she's kind of just creeped out about the whole thing, which you'll never get if you hear the song. It's just kind of my own story behind the lyrics. But the second album that I'm working on right now, I'm more excited for. It's going to be done a lot better because it has the theme in mind. It's called Penelope Sueños, and it's based on a fictional character, a girl that is just like the muse of this outlaw back in the Wild West and stuff like that. And yeah, just a lot of themes of just like um, the different disappointments, the different things we have to settle for as humans and as romantics, or whoever you might find. I think there's different people that it will appeal to them differently. You know, some people are great and they're disappointed that people don't see their greatness, or some people are great and they're disappointed that everyone thinks they're great, but they can't live up to what people think of them. It's just everyone has their own stupid little hell that they can't really seem to escape. So I guess that's the theme, something like that.
Can you describe your creative process when you start to write either a poem or a song, or maybe how it all comes together?
Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. When it comes to songwriting, uh, my favorite way to do it is, and I kind of try to tell people like that because I talk to a lot of people that are barely trying to start writing songs. Um, it's interesting that sometimes when you figure out the tempo first, it kind of helps you construct the song better in a weird way for me. So I'll figure out the pacing of the song. Uh, and there's no really like solid way of doing it, I don't think, but usually I'll have like an idea, and then like I'll come up with something on. I just feel it that day, like, yeah, I'm gonna write a song. I feel this today. So I'll hop on the keyboard or I'll hop on the guitar and I just record what I got. And then I'll usually do either guitar or keyboard, then the voice, then I'll start adding bass. And I literally like typically I'll record a track and I'll just be jamming on the bass. And then if I mess it up, I'll just start it over. I'm just figuring it out as it goes along and what feels cool. And um that's usually my songwriting process. But poetry, it's a tough poetry is a really tough thing to digest and really take seriously. Like I live for it. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying that you kind of like you either get caught in this moment where you're like trying to write so intensely and trying to make something profound, or you're just speaking too much of your feeling. You kind of like walking a tightrope. So it's kind of just a personal thing where you I don't know. I like automatic writing. I like to just dump out all the ideas, um, whether they correlate, whether they rhyme, and I think that it makes it fun as a writer to kind of dig into your own work and uh, try to figure out what you were going through. You know, because as you get older, it's not. And I'm not like I don't think I'm some old man or anything when I say that, but when you're a teenager, it's easier to write like, "I'm fucking sad. The girl I'm in love with, doesn't love me."
Mhm.
But the emotions get kind of blurry later on, and like depression isn't like a crying thing anymore. It's kind of you're just driving, you're just like, yeah, I think I'm a little depressed today. I'm not sure. It's like a warning light rather than like a devastating hurricane. It's just like a warning light on your car. So you're kind of just digging through yourself and trying to say like, oh, okay, like think this is going on, or so I like just writing a bunch of flowy stuff. And but I don't know, I like storytelling. It's my favorite thing about music. And I put my genre as folk when I put it on Spotify and all that stuff just for fun. I thought it'd be funny. I don't really think it's folk music, but some people have said it is because it's kind of storytelling oriented, and I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I like. I like creating a fictional character based on something I feel or something I saw, and just kind of like finding where I relate and finding where other people might relate, and telling your story and telling a story through a song is fun.
Awesome. Um, Thanks for sharing. Do you consider yourself more of a kind of or a band or a project that likes to perform live, or do you really like to do your creative work in the studio?
I love I love the studio vibe. I mean I've done studios and stuff, but honestly most of my stuff I just do it in like a living room or my bedroom typically 9 times out of 10. I'll do it in my car. I'll do it, it's a very personal thing. Like like I've done studio stuff with studio musicians, and I never know how I find myself in that situation because I personally think it's probably some of the most basic shit they've ever played. But they're like, how do I play this part again? And I'm just suddenly running the show, and I'm not even like, the most talented guy in the room by a long shot. But it's kind of like there's a lot of expectations and there's a certain time limit. So you're kind of like hoping you can get it right on a certain amount of takes. But when you're in your own room and you're in your own privacy, you can just work on it. I mean, the last 2 days, I've literally worked on one song for the entire day. Then the second day, I worked on another song, and it's not for any other reason than I just feel it and I just want to do it. But performing's great. I love it. I mean, the times that I was a front man are few. I used to do open mics, and that's probably my preference, or like, just kind of something simple because I don't really have a band. I've had people join me on stage, and we typically don't have enough time to kind of get it down the way I want it to be. But I love drumming. I'm a drummer. So like I love drumming live. That's just the funnest ever. Like that's my favorite. I would if I had to choose between any of those, I mean I would do the studio recording, but like when I perform live, I'm probably gonna have other singers sing for me sometimes too, if I'm being honest. But I love playing the drums. I just love it. It's just high energy, and I love the drums. I'm excited that this album is gonna have a lot more drums than the first album because I'm a drummer. So it's kind of disappointing to hear your album and it's so dead, and it's like people will appreciate it. I hope they do, but drums just bring a whole nother heartbeat to the thing, literally. It's like it gives life to the party, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, my brother's a drummer, and I've always been really jealous of him. I was always the piano and the guitar and the
Oh,
singing,
really?
and like he looks like he's having way more fun on stage than me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if you played music too. You play music?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know if you reached out to Keely or to Orbital Events or like,
Hmm.
but if you know who Keely is, Keely and I are in a band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw like a good majority of the interviews online. I was
Yeah,
trying to keep up mentally, but I'll definitely check that out. But no, yeah, drummers, I think they might be having the most fun. I think they really, it's fun to just take the backseat and like you don't gotta like try to run shit, and it's really easy. Like the main guy could be like, "Hey guys, I think we should do this," and they're like, "Why? You think you're in charge?" And then like everyone is like, "Dude, I'm just as a drummer, you just get to like go and show up and keep the politics out of it and all that."
super
What kind of
fun.
music do you guys play? I'm gonna interview you now,
Oh
like
yeah,
in Step
yeah.
Brothers.
The table have turned. We play like alternative rock with like a little bit of a garagey sound.
Hmm.
Um, some heavy guitars. Picture that with some really like light angelic female harmonies. That's
Yeah,
us.
that's my favorite. You're talking my language. Are you guys on Spotify and all that too?
Not yet. It's very
Uh,
exciting though because we have a release date for our first single on Spotify. And so
uh,
that'll be November 27th.
November
So fo-
20th.
Yeah, or yeah, is that true? Yeah, November 27th. I had to like think for a sec. And so you should definitely follow us on
Cool.
Instagram to keep up paintings. We're called painting. But that's not what
Oh
this
yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
yeah. But that's not what this interview is about. This interview is about. So back to you. You can choose which question you want to answer next before we move into our game. Do you want to tell me about your favorite live show you've ever played? Or do you want to tell me kind of what are the challenges of keeping up music during like COVID? Or do you want to tell me a little more about upcoming content?
Whew, God, that's a tough one.
Maybe we need to
Um,
do all of them.
huh?
Maybe we need to. You can maybe you can pick two out
I'll
of.
just run through them. All right. Number one, 420 show, 2019, I think it was, or 2018. That was a good show. I forgot the other two, but the upcoming content, that's what I'm excited about. I guess I should do that one so people could get like a broader scope of like the shit I'm doing. The album should be out soon. I mean, it has been tough with COVID. There's question number two. Yeah, I have a drum set. My friend Angel Vega, he's the one that records my drum tracks. Like he's my partner in crime. Like, um, he has this great microphone that picks the drums up well. Which if you ever record drums, and I'm sure you have or will in the future, it's a pain in the ass to get like a quality sound. And I love working with him. We're just the same frame of mind, and we never argue. We kind of just throw our opinions back and forth. I always love his ideas. He always likes mine, and he's a great musician, awesome singer. So he's my main go-to guy to record my drum tracks. But yeah, with COVID, it's been a bit rough. But yeah, so I got the album coming out. I got a lot of people collaborating this time around, which last time literally it was just me on the entire album. Um, so I'm glad to have a few features on there. One of them being one of my old professors. He's doing some monologues, so it's gonna have like a little bit of a theatrical feel. Like I don't know if I'm gonna pull it off. I'm just gonna do it. I don't, you know what I mean? It's gonna be great though. I promise that. But writing a story. I'm writing a book, and I'm really excited for that. I published a few books already, but those were just poetry and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to getting my first novel out. So that's that's all in the works. That's in the oven as we speak. And I don't know. There's limited funds. You know what I mean? I don't expect people to jump on every wagon, but I can't say which one I'm more excited for. I think the album is gonna be a little more digestible for everybody else, but I think the novel like will, if anyone likes to read, I think they're gonna enjoy that book. I don't think the plot has been written the same exact way before, which like the Beatles said, there's nothing you can do that hasn't been done or whatever. But I'm really excited for that, my first novel. So yeah, that's what's in the works right now.
Very exciting. That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for all of that. Now we're gonna play a little game to end, and we're gonna play underrated or overrated.
Okay.
And
I'm nervous about this one.
you're nervous about this one? Why are you nervous about it?
Because I saw the videos and like I said before, I'm like so my horizons aren't as broad as I thought they were. So I'm like I might not know some of the people or things you ask about. But yeah, let's play.
Okay.